Broncos country in the Mile High City. What is up? How y'all doing today, man? It is your boy Mark. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Crazy week for me this week, man. I just got back in town after traveling for the first traveling till about Wednesday of this week. I actually had a video uploaded that I was recording while I was in Sacramento for a work trip, and it just got deleted because the my computer battery died and the Wi-Fi cut out. There's all sorts of issues. But we're back at it again, man, and I hope you guys are doing great. So, can Bo Nix have a top 10 all-time NFL rookie quarterback season? What do you guys think? Let's debate. But until we do that, if it's your first time tuning in, I appreciate you guys checking out the channel, Marquee Sports. Here we focus on all things Denver sports, Denver Nuggets, Denver Broncos, obviously, Colorado Avalanche, and a lot of fantasy football sports. So if you're into fantasy sports and you're into some NFL, NHL, or NBA news, unbiased, uncut, unfiltered. I never script anything. I never obviously have any kind of biased opinions one way or the other to try to push some sort of agenda. It's just my opinion. It's just what it is that I think. And I would love to continue to grow this community and have some people join the channel so that we can debate and live stream and do all that really, really fun stuff. So stay tuned for some more content coming up with Jeremy and with David Talks Broncos. Looking forward to that as well. So, guys, what do you guys think? Can Bo Nix have a top 10 all-time NFL quarterback season? So as we look at it, the way that a lot of people have ranked it, and I'll just kind of give you a top three or maybe even a top five, just kind of consistently what we've seen in no particular order. Rookie quarterback seasons with CJ Stroud's 2023 season of last year, where he was awesome. Justin Herbert in 2020. Baker Mayfield with the Browns in 2018. Very underrated season, by the way. Dak Prescott with the Cowboys in 2016. And Russell Wilson with the Seahawks back in 2012. So those are kind of not in any particular order, but pretty consistently across all of the different ranking platforms that we use, the top five. And on average, every one of those quarterbacks at least threw for 3,000 yards. Really, they all threw for at least 3,500 yards. They all threw for at least 20 plus touchdowns, and they all really had at least a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And so what I compare it with, and what I want to kind of look at is we'll look at CJ Stroud and we'll look at Justin Herbert just because they're the two most recent, of all time. And I think that when you look at it, I think Bo Nix has probably the best chance to have a really, really good season of all these rookie quarterbacks that were drafted this year, with maybe the exception of Caleb Williams for many obvious reasons. And I think it's because it's all going to be about the opportunity. We know we can say, I mean, listen, a lot of people can say what it is they want. Sean Payton can have his coach speak. They can say it's a competition. Guys, Bo Nix is starting 100% day one. Week one, he will be the starter. He's got the clearest path to starting, obviously, aside from Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. So he's going to get his opportunities. And over the course of 17 games, I think he could put together some really good stats. If you're betting people, there's some prop bets on DraftKings right now. Bo Nix is over under for the regular season in passing yards is 2850. All right, so guys, I mean, I'm no like genius, but if you really take that number and you assume that he's going to play over, at least all 17 games, right? You can never really factor in injuries. But if you do that, that means he's going to average about 168 yards a game to go over. So seems like a pretty good over to me if you feel like he's going to remain healthy for at least the majority of the season. That's a very, very low number, in my opinion. But when you look at it, aside from that, I think the Broncos' skill position players, the unknown factor, the fact that there's just not a lot of guys that people know with these young guys, because they were bad last year with Russell Wilson. There's this assumption that we're not going to be a good offense. But if you look at the history of Bo Nix in college over the 6 years and Sean Payton in his many years coaching in the NFL, both of them have figured out a way to have quarterbacks be extremely efficient, a high completion percentage, a very, very good touchdown to interception ratio, very limited in the interception department. And so that's kind of how Bo Nix has been, and that's kind of the coach that Sean Payton's been, and all of his quarterbacks that he's been successful with have been. To give you guys an idea, Jameis Winston set the NFL record of being the only quarterback to throw 30 picks and 30 touchdowns. He threw 33 touchdowns and 30 picks. And then when he started for Sean Payton in New Orleans through 7 games before he tore his ACL, he had like he had 23 touchdowns and 7 picks or something crazy like that. So it was a huge turnaround for him. Um, and that's kind of the way in which Sean Payton calls the offense, and Bo Nix has always run his offense is very efficient. Get the ball out of your hands quick, high completion percentage, low margin for error. Very safe and conservative. And I think that's going to be a lot of what you see this season. Now touchdowns are going to be a little bit unpredictable, right? You could have a really good run game, and you're getting a lot of rushing touchdowns, and you limit the amount of overall touchdowns. But it's I think that if you look at it in a holistic point of view, the guy is going to have the opportunities. He's got the smarts and the experience. A lot of people across the board, the draft analysts were saying he's the most pro ready quarterback in the draft, and I think it's very obvious that he is. Now that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have the best career, but it certainly puts him at a huge advantage when you talk about putting him, in the conversation of having not just the best rookie quarterback of this draft class, but really of all time, going up there and doing so. And so when really, like I said, when you look at it that way, and guys, by the way, I was actually just looking this up. Jameis Winston in the 7 games he started with the Saints actually threw 14 touchdowns and only 3 picks, and he in 7 games. So he was roughly on pace to go 30 touchdowns and about 9 or 10 interceptions, a 3-to-1 ratio. So apologies about that. Um, I think that Bo Nix is going to have a really good run game, which is going to be very helpful for him to be successful. And if you look at CJ Stroud, he's obviously the most recent example. Nobody really expected for CJ Stroud to have what you would consider not just the best rookie quarterback season of all time, but in addition to that, and a lot of people didn't predict it because they didn't feel like he had really good skill position players. They didn't really know if he had a really good run game. They weren't quite sure how the O line was going to be. The defense they knew was going to be improved, but how much? And all of that changed because he was great. He was phenomenal. He was matched up with an offensive coordinator that had a beautiful plan for him. And all of a sudden, those skill position players were really good. The run game ended up being better because the pass game was opening it up and vice versa. And guys started making plays because they're getting opportunities. So do I think that we can mimic that exactly? No, but I think that there's a lot of potential for those things to go hand in hand because that's kind of how it is. Sean Payton is going to call up, he's going to scheme up an offense. He just is. He's going to scheme guys open. He's going to coach up Bo Nix to be able to see things, get the ball out of his hands quickly. And he's going to scheme up these guys getting open. He's also going to commit very, very heavily to a run game, a very, very solid run game. And so with all those factors, I really think that Bo Nix is absolutely in line and set up to have a very, very solid season. Now, if I was to make a guess, I would say that Bo Nix would finish the season over 65% completion for sure. For sure. Because even Russ last year was 67%. Over 65% completion, over 4,000 yards. I would say his touchdown ratio is going to be anywhere between, or his touchdown number is going to be anywhere between about 20 to 26 touchdowns for the whole year over 17 games. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had anywhere between 6 to 8 interceptions at most. And that I think is not only my prediction, but I think it would be obviously a very, very good season. But I'm really curious to just see how he progresses, right? How he battles through adversity, how he battles through injuries through a long NFL season, how he manipulates the pocket, what kind of athleticism does he show, right? What his rushing numbers are going to look like, and obviously overall operation of the offense. So super excited to see it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think that Bo Nix has that potential? And if so, what do you think your predictions are? What do you think his rookie season will look like, both realistically what you think is going to happen and then an ideal scenario in terms of what you need to see to be able to make sure that the Broncos finally got their guy and are finally not in quarterback purgatory like they've been for so long. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I much appreciate it. Help the channel as I'm on a mission to get to 500. Otherwise, I wish you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Spend time with those people that you love. A mile high salute to all of you guys. And as usual,